In this video, we'll go over all the WoW news from the past week and try to compress it into a bite-sized video. The weekly event for this week is Arena Skirmishes. Win 10 Arena Skirmishes to get some kind of reward. This is usually the worst weekly event, unless you really like to do random arena battles with another person. The world boss for this week is Warbringer Yanaj. I don't think any of the world bosses really drop anything important. I don't know if I should really keep mentioning them in this video or not. And the Archaeology bi-weekly for this week is one that allows you to obtain 1 Obliterum, so completely worthless unless you're trying to do it for an achievement. Also, the Darkmoon Fair is happening this week. That's a great thing because Darkmoon Fair has lots of pets and mounts you can get, unless you've already, farmed them all or everything. I know I spent the first day of the Darkmoon Fair this week fishing for like 5 hours so that I can get enough fish in order to buy the swimming mount, which they added I don't know how long ago. I just finally decided to do it this week. And also, this is the only time you can buy the inky black potions, which are really cool little cosmetic effects that change your world into nighttime. Recently, very recently, Blizzard announced patch 8.1.5 PTR with a lot of interesting things that are going to be on there. First off, the Zandalari and Kulturan allied races unlocks are going to be on there, so we're going to finally know how to unlock them and when we might be able to unlock them. They're also going to be adding Naga World Quest invasions, similar to the other invasions we already have, so I guess that'll be, alternate invasions. I'm pretty sure they'll just happen alongside the invasions we have currently, which is great, because the other ones are really good for leveling up characters. They're going to add new quests. There's going to be a new quest for Magni, which is reasonable, since that's the heart of Azeroth stuff. They're going to be adding new quests for the non-gathering professions. So I think they said the 8 crafting professions are all going to get some new quests added. And interestingly enough, they're adding new quests for Hati, which I believe was the BM Hunter artifact weapon pet. BM Hunters, when they got their artifact weapon, they also got a second pet named Hati. So there's going to be a quest for that, which is, interesting to see. I wonder how they're going to do that, because they did say there was going to be more story for some of the more sentient weapons. We already know there's going to be something with the Shadow Priest Dagger and Sylvanas. So it's nice to see they didn't forget about Hati as well. They're going to be adding Wintergrass to the Epic BG queue. That way, there'll be one more battleground besides just AV and Isle of Conquest, both of which favor the Alliance very heavily. So this is great, and they're also thinking about adding Ashran to it. They did say in the patch notes that Ashran won't be added with this patch or PTR, but it will be added sometime in the future. They're finally going to be adding this expansion's versions of the Brawlers Guild. They're going to be adding the Darkmoon Fair roller coaster, and they're going to be adding in some new micro holidays. So lots of little things to look forward to in, the half patch. In other news with Epic Battlegrounds, they've done some Isle of Conquest fixes, which is crazy. I'm going to always mention the fixes they make to the Epic Battlegrounds, because you guys don't understand how rarely they change Battlegrounds. Isle of Conquest has seen more changes in BFA than all of the other expansions combined. So they fixed a bug where the generals were taking too much damage from the Flamethrower's Blade Salvo ability, which is funny that people were pulling the generals in front of the Flamethrowers to find that out, because you can't take the Flamethrowers inside the building to shoot them with. The general's Dagger Throw ability will now be a bit less lethal. The generals will no longer reset their health to full when leashed, so if you pull them out of the sanctuary, or whatever they're called, in order to shoot them with the Flamethrower, they won't reset and get all their health back anymore, which is great. Repairing a cannon keep no longer can be interrupted from damage, and this is the big one, Flamethrower's health has been increased by 30%, and their damage done to players has been increased. Now, Flamethrowers are the reason Alliance players have an advantage in the Battleground, so I'm surprised they're doing a buff to it like this, considering one of the biggest weaknesses that Flamethrowers had was that they had a little bit of health, and that a team of stealthies could go in and just take him out. But whatever. I haven't actually done Isle of Conquest very much since they started making these changes, so for all I know, the glaive thrower meta isn't really the same as it used to be. And now it's time for some miscellaneous things. Gahun's health has been reduced by 5% on all difficulties, making it a lot easier for people who might be farming it for the new raid. And the Underrot plus 15 was cleared in time by a group of 5 tanks. Which seems kind of crazy because as someone who's been leveling a tank recently or trying to gear them out, tanks don't do a lot of damage. I'm kind of surprised that they were able to actually kill stuff fast enough. So that is quite the accomplishment. Now on to weather with DevBot the Weather Bot. How's the weather out there?
Fluoride is a mind control agent. That's why the government tells you to brush your teeth twice a day.
Okay, DevBot, whatever. Now on to the micro fact of the day. Did you know that Mal'Ganis was supposed to be the last boss in Karazhan? Instead, they created the final boss of Prince Malchezaar out of nothing, just to have another demon final boss to take his place. Mal'Ganis was the Dreadlord who tempted Arthas into becoming the Lich King, so he was a very important character. But he also doesn't really make any sense for him to be in Karazhan, so I can see why they removed him. Channel update. So there wasn't a news video for the past 2 weeks. When I said 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago now, that I wouldn't have a news video for Christmas, but that I would have one for the week after, turns out I got sick like the day before Christmas. And I don't know what I had. It probably wasn't a cold. I kind of probably should have went to the doctor to find out what I had. But I lost my voice completely. Like, I've had colds before, and you kind of get that cold voice where it's raspy, but you know, you get better after a couple of days. But this one was no. My voice was just out of commission for 2 weeks straight. Like, I didn't really get it back normally until like 2 days ago. And right now, it's fine. My voice is at like 99%, but 3 days ago it was only at like 50%. And 4 days ago it was not usable at all. Like, I couldn't use a normal voice if I tried. So there was no way I could make a video or a discussion video if I couldn't talk. So there was no videos on this channel for 2 weeks, and it just kind of happened to coincide with the holidays, you know, Christmas and New Year's Eve. So I doubt too many people really noticed. I'm sure people just thought I was taking the holidays off, but really, I only planned on taking 1 week off. I ended up taking 2 weeks off because I couldn't talk. So the videos should continue like normal this week. Since I couldn't work for 2 weeks, I'm still behind on my other channels, but I can't really see that interfering with making the discussion videos for this one. So expect to see that tomorrow or on Thursday. So with that, I'll see you all next week.